This is the devastating story of what happened on the 14th of June, 1959, when 33-year-old Robert Pamperin and his friend Gerald Lehrer were freediving for abalone at Alligator Head, La Jolla Cove, San Diego, California, using only a mask, snorkel, and fins when the unexpectedly huge great white shark came across and, in a blink of an eye, ended the life of Robert Pamperin. This terrible incident was one of the most memorable shark attacks in Californian history, spreading panic and terror among people on the beach. In this video, we will go over the details of Robert Pamperin's attack, the circumstances that led up to it, and the possible effect it had on the area. Join us as we recall the frightening incident of Robert Pamperin's shark attack in 1959. Click that subscribe button and like this video. This is Deadly Addiction. This incident takes us back to Alligator Head, which is a famous coastal landmark located at the west of La Jolla Cove in San Diego, California. Robert Pamperin was freediving in the deep waters of Alligator Head with a close friend named Gerald Lehrer when a huge great white shark emerged unexpectedly from the water. La Jolla Cove, a little cove accompanied by towering jagged cliffs, is one of La Jolla's most recognized tourist spots. Due to its variety of marine life and incredibly clear water, it is an ideal spot for scuba divers to swim and snorkel. Water clarity can frequently surpass 30 feet, attracting divers from all across Southern California. However, despite the fame and beauty of the mentioned location, few people were aware of its tragic history. Stay tuned to know more about what happened to Robert Pamperin and join us to know more about the details of this horrific incident. Trust me, you do not want to miss this. One of the most terrifying shark attacks in the area occurred in June 1959 on Alligator Head, just a few miles off La Jolla Cove. It was June 14th, and while most people were pleased to sleep in on a Sunday, Robert Pamperin was awake earlier than usual as he looked out his windows and started to realize that the weather was not cooperating and that it was a bad day to be on the ocean. But that won't hinder Robert and his friend Gerard, who had been planning this for quite some time. They intended to hunt abalones, which were large marine gastropod mollusks, on that day, and hoped to sell some of their catch for a reasonable price. Robert and Gerard had to go hunting afterwards in the afternoon, because abalones are nocturnal animals that sleep during the day and eat when the moon is up. Because there was still time before the hunt, the two friends took their girlfriends to the beach, and while the ladies were sunbathing, Robert and Gerard would leave to hunt for abalones at Alligator Head. Robert had planned for this day. He ate breakfast and watched the news, unaware that he would be on it later that day. Abalone hunting is physically demanding because it requires a lot of movement. Robert planned to freedive, so he only brought a pair of blue swim fins, a pink bathing suit, a black mask, black diving gloves, and a yellow-handled abalone iron, which is used to remove abalone from rocks without hurting them. He also brought a black inner tube with a burlap sack attached, so he was well prepared for this dive. When Robert was done, he and his girlfriend loaded the equipment into their car and drove to La Jolla Cove Beach. Robert and Gerard meet up with their girlfriends at the beach. They chuckled and chatted about the hunt and the weather. The four would spend their time at the beach as usual, unaware of what was about to happen. Around 5 p.m., Robert and Gerard retrieved their materials from their cars and began preparing the dive equipment. Even though the weather was still cloudy, they made their way to Alligator Head. The two could only see through 7 meters of water beneath them, which was not ideal for abalone hunting. But there was no stopping these two friends, and it was time to jump into the water. Both of them had prior swimming and diving experience, so they were aware of the dangers of entering the ocean. It was also probable that they were so self-assured in diving into the ocean water because there had been no catastrophic shark attacks in the area previously, so the people knew it was a safe diving spot. But everything would change in a flash. Robert and Gerard swam slowly beneath the surface, taking deep breaths. They were cautious while swimming because they were looking for wild abalone hiding in the surfaces of the rocks at the ocean's bottom. They hustled and dove further into when they spotted a couple of abalones a few meters down, one hand holding the iron and the other holding the sack as they scraped the shell. After gathering a few abalones, the men returned to the surface and inhaled some fresh air. For some reason, the two were separated by the waves, and they slowly drifted apart from one another until there were 10 to 15 meters between them. All of a sudden, a great white shark appeared beneath Robert. It was swinging its head back and forth and looking at Robert as if it was about to do something terrible to him. One thing led to another. The shark attacked Robert. The shark was able to devour Robert's entire lower body, which forced him unnaturally higher out of the surface. Robert desperately asked for help while screaming, and Gerard immediately went in the direction of his friend, only thinking that he might be having a cramp, and rushed to Robert to help him. Gerard noticed that Robert had vanished into thin air, leaving behind a pool of blood-red water. Gerard was stunned, and he dove deeper into the water to investigate what was happening to his friend. And there he saw his friend being devoured by a great white shark. He said the shark was about 7 meters long, and he saw Robert trying his hardest to free himself from the merciless creature's jaws. But there was no hope. The shark was too powerful, and he quickly took him deeper down. Gerard took a deep breath and dashed towards what was going on. He also attempted to scare the shark away by waving his hands, but it was ineffective. As it tries to rip Robert's body apart, the shark swings its head from side to side. Gerard realized he couldn't help his friend, so he swam back to shore and requested assistance, informing lifeguards and local authorities about the attack. Following Robert's attack, 10 professional scuba divers swam and dove to the area for 2 hours, looking for Robert's body, but came up empty-handed. A few days later, a swim fin with a shark bite mark floated on shore, and after an investigation, it was revealed that it was indeed Robert's. Some people were skeptical with Gerard during some investigations. However, William Abbott was atop the rock formation at the time that this occurred. His argument was similar to Gerard's, but people continued to believe in other stories. They want to believe that a killer whale killed Robert, but Gerard was certain he saw a great white. 4 possible explanations were presented by the investigators. One reason is that divers were catching yellowtail less than 2 hours before the attack, and sharks are known to be attracted to speared fish and low-frequency vibrations caused by the commotion. Second, a U.S. Navy sailor had been injured on the rocks hours before the attack, leaving a large amount of blood in the water, which may have attracted the shark. Third, there were harbor seals on the rocks. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, a whale washed ashore approximately 800 meters before the attack, attracting the shark that led to Robert's tragic death. Almost a year later, in November 1960, geologists discovered a man's skeleton at the bottom of the ocean, 650 yards off La Jolla. The coroner examines the bones and determines that they correspond to Robert's description. What happened to Robert was absolutely heartbreaking. He was a fantastic diver and a wonderful friend to all. This tragic story will be remembered by the people of La Jolla for the rest of their lives, as a reminder to cherish every moment with your loved ones, because you never know what may happen tomorrow. Robert Pamperin, rest in peace. Thank you for watching this video. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up, click the notification bell, and leave a comment about how you felt while watching it and what stories you'd like us to tell in the next one. Until then, goodbye.